Students, in this video session, we will be learning about basic structure of atom and foundation of atomic structure and the theories regarding atomic models. So from your early classes, in starting from class 8th, 9th and 10th, you will be learning about atom and its structure. Of course, the basic building blocks of matter is atom. Atom is again made up of nucleus and as well as fundamental particles. Every atom has nucleus and electrons will be revolving around the nucleus, which make the structure of an atom. But before 200 years, no one knows nucleus. No one knows electrons. It is in the 19th century, like at the end of 19th century, atom is supposed to be made up of small particles, and in the beginning of 20th century, J.J. Thomson have confirmed that. J.J. Thomson have confirmed atom is made up of very small minute particles called electrons. When he have introduced electrons, which are the constituents of atom, he does not know how electrons behave in an atom. But later few years, he framed atomic model called plum-pudding model. J.J. Thomson's atomic model is very familiar for you all because you might be learning this in chemistry and as well as in 9th and 10th standards. So J.J. Thomson's atomic model was first introduced in order to learn the structure of atom. However, there are few failures of J.J. Thomson's atomic model. Later, some other theories were being put forward, and out of which remarkable modifications was made by Rutherford. And even Rutherford atomic model also have failed to explain some of the basic properties of matter. Later, Bohr have introduced quantization rules, and he applied quantization rules to explain the structure of atom, and he named it as Bohr's atomic model. And later, Sommerfeld introduced quantization of angular momentum, and he have proposed another atomic model. And after that, vector atomic model. The present structure which we are following and the present model which we are using is vector atomic model. So this is how the step-by-step development of atomic theories has been put forth. And in this chapter, we are going to learn how the atomic theories are being developed, what are the classification, like how atom is being made up of, and how J.J. Thomson have given the structure, and after that different scientists, they have put forth their own atomic models. We are going to learn in detail about those atomic models in this chapter, and what are the merits and demerits of those atomic models, and energy spectrum of hydrogen atom, how Bohr have explained energy spectrum of hydrogen atom. These are the topics which we are going to discuss in this chapter, atom. Just recapitulate early theories of atomic model. It is that in the 19th century, the hypothesis of atomic structure, atom is made up of matter, many proofs has been given that matter is made up of atoms, out of which electron discharge tube experiment, which was done by J.J. Thomson, revealed that atom is made up of negatively charged particles, and these negatively charged particles named as electrons, and these are identical for all the atoms irrespective of the state of matter. And these atoms as a whole, like they contain negatively charged particles, but as a whole it should be electrically neutral. In order to compensate charge of electrons, there should be positive charge present within the atom, and how these positive and negative charges are embedded in an atom in order to frame that atomic models was put forward, out of which J.J. Thomson's atomic model is the first model introduced to study about the structure of atom. And in 1898, J.J. Thomson have introduced plum pudding model, and in his model he have proposed that the positive charge and negative charge is being distributed within an atom such that positively charged particles are being distributed uniformly, and negatively charged particles called electrons, they are embedded as if seeds in a watermelon. Therefore, it is said to be plum pudding model. However, J.J. Thomson's atomic model, where its existence, the existence of J.J. Thomson's atomic model is for very few years. Later, there are many theories put forward, out of which the remarkable statement was made by Rutherford with his scattering experiment called Rutherford alpha ray scattering experiment. And from Rutherford alpha ray scattering experiment, the other structure of atom was been introduced, which is nuclear model. Atom is made up of nucleus. So Rutherford's atomic model, Rutherford's alpha ray scattering experiment led to the discovery of nucleus. From there, the structure of atom is completely reframed than that of J.J. Thomson's atomic model. So J.J. Thomson atomic model led foundation for studying structure of atomic models, but whatever in this model, whatever the conclusions has been made, they are proved to be wrong. So as informed, Rutherford in his alpha ray scattering experiment, he confirmed like the positively charged matter, the positively charged particles are present at the center portion of the atom by alpha ray scattering experiment. So in this article, we are going to learn alpha ray scattering experiment and what are the conclusions from alpha ray scattering experiment. In the animation which is provided on the screen, you are able to see that there is an electron gun. Of course, this is not an electron gun. There is a alpha ray particle source. Generally, those elements which are unstable, they emit alpha, beta and gamma radiations. Radioactive elements or radioactive specimens like uranium, thorium, those particles emit alpha particles by themselves, which is by the process of natural phenomenon called radioactivity. So Rutherford, his intention is to study about alpha ray characteristics. What are the properties of alpha, beta and gamma radiations? So in order to study about their characteristics, how are they made up of, what is their charge, and how do they behave with electric and as well as magnetic fields. So in order to study about this, he is conducting an experiment which is alpha ray scattering experiment. And in that experiment, he took a source which emit alpha radiations, and those alpha particles are a pencil beam of alpha particles are allowed to fall on a thin gold foil. And when those alpha particles are incidented, allowed to incidented on the gold foil, the alpha particles get scattered in all possible directions, and you are able to detect those particles using a detector, and that detector can be mounted, which is able to be rotated here. In this figure you can see that this is a source of alpha particles, and in order to make the pencil beam, like in order to make the alpha ray particles, the stream of alpha particles as narrow as possible, you are taking this narrow slit and a pencil beam of alpha particles are allowed to incident on this gold foil, and this is screen, we generally call it as detector. And a detector is able to rotate here, and you are able to see that like it is named as a screen in this figure. So on this screen, you are able to see the alpha particles get scattered in different directions, right? Now, some of the alpha particles are being deflected in this direction. Some of the alpha particles get deflected in this direction, and some of them get deflected in this. Some of them will not undergo any deviation. Some of them deflected in this direction, some of them get deflected in this direction, some of them deflected in this direction, and some of them are exactly returned back. Thus, when alpha particles are allowed to incident on a gold foil, the alpha ray particles have been scattered in all possible directions. And he is able to record that on the detector, which is placed over there. And from this, he confirmed that these positively charged alpha particles get scattered in all possible directions, not only for gold foil, any other element if you take in the place of gold foil, any other metallic plate you can take. The same thing happens, by which he confirmed that scattering of positively charged particles takes place in this experiment. Now, you are able to see that in the animation clearly. See, the spots are being occurred on the screen in different directions. Now, why actually it happens so? Let us discuss it in this second figure. As alpha particles are treated to be positively charged particles, and it has charge twice that of proton. Alpha particles are positively charged particles. It is already learned from the deflections of electric field and as well as magnetic fields. Mass of alpha particles can be detected by allowing those particles to pass through magnetic fields. The charge of alpha particles can be predicted by allowing these charged particles to pass through electric fields, magnetic fields and electric fields. Magnetic fields confirm mass for the particles, electric fields confirm charge for the particles. So these alpha particles, when allowed to pass through electric and as well as magnetic fields, we can detect, we can predict that they have some charge and they have some mass. And these alpha particles, when as they are positively charged particles, the deviation of these alpha particles when they are incidented upon the gold foil can be one of the reasons that these alpha particles are positively charged particles. And these positively charged particles which are coming closer towards this gold foil, this is gold foil, and we can take this as one atom, right? So when this positive charge come closer to this atom, due to repulsive force acting between that atom and positively charged alpha particles, it gets reflected back in the same direction. So therefore, those particles which are exactly coming towards the central portion of the atom, they are strongly repelled backward, and those particles which are just going little bit farther distance to this atom, they get deviated in this direction. And these particles, alpha particles which are moving just farther to this atom, they come towards this point and they get deviated in this direction. And some of the particles without any deviation, they pass through this atom. So just like how in the animation it is shown, you can clearly see that, see, positive charges, they are coming closer to the atom and they are being deviated in different directions. Those alpha particles which are coming closer, and that too towards the central portion of the atom, they are strongly repelled back. You can see that in the second animation. From this, there were some conclusions made from this alpha ray scattering experiment. So what are the conclusions from this experiment? We will be learning in the next slide. So alpha particles are incidented on the gold foil, and these alpha particles are scattered in all possible directions, such that some of them are being deviated by an angle 90 degrees, some of them are being deviated by an angle greater than 90 degrees and less than 90 degrees. And some of them will not have any deviation. They come out from the gold foil. So point number 1 to be noted is that as the alpha particles are allowed to pass through this gold foil, it means that most of the atom should be empty. There is no charge embedded within that particular region. So it conforms empty space in atom. So there should be empty space in an atom because these alpha particles, when they are passing through that empty space, there will be no deviation. So empty space of an atom is conformation from penetration of alpha particles through gold foil. This is point number 1. So most of the atom is said to be hollow, like if it is empty. That is the reason why most of the alpha particles get penetrated through that gold foil and they are exactly passing without any deviation. That is first confirmation. Second confirmation is that the alpha particles which are exactly reflected back, reflection of alpha particles confirm there is a positive charge at center of atom. So all positive charge of the atom is concentrated only at the center. That is the reason why alpha particles which are positively charged, when they come closer to the center of the atom, they without like they will be undergoing reflection. That is second confirmation. And this strong positive charge which is at the center of atom is named as nucleus. So alpha ray scattering experiment led to the discovery of nucleus. That is point number 2. Point number 3 is that the alpha particles, like when they are being deviated by an angle, like some of those particles will be deviated with angle greater than 90 degrees, less than 90 degrees. That depends upon impact parameter. Impact parameter can be calculated using alpha ray scattering experiment. Impact parameter decides with what angle they are being deviated. So some of them get deviated with angle greater than 90 and some of them less than 90. That is based upon their impact parameter. So if the atoms are like if the alpha particles are coming closer to the atom, as electrons are negatively charged particles, so those alpha particles which are just closer to the atom, they will be attracted. As a result, they deviate with some particular angle, and those alpha particles which are exactly coming towards the center of the atom, they strongly get repelled. This scattering, the scattering angles also depends upon the distribution of positive and negative charge within an atom. So these all are confirmations from alpha ray scattering experiment. So conclusions, or we can call it as postulates or observations made by alpha ray scattering experiments. So these are the stepwise conclusions. You can read them on the screen. So first conclusion is that nucleus is been confirmed. and nucleus is made up of protons, and as well as nucleus, it is concentrated in the small region. And atomic nucleus is surrounded by negatively charged particles called electrons, and these electrons will be revolving around the nucleus with very high speed, and those are called orbits. The atom has no net charge. It is electrically neutral because electrons have negative charge. Densely concentrated central portion of the atom has positively charged. Therefore, it is overall electrically neutral. And atom is strongly the strong interaction between nucleus and electrons hold atom together. So that makes atom stable. And the size of nucleus of atom is very small compared to that of size of the atom. So size of nucleus is nearly of order 10 power minus 15, and size of atom is nearly of order 10 power minus 10, and this is in meter and this is in meter. You can call 10 power minus 15 as 1 Fermi. So size of nucleus is very, very, very small. It is 10 power 5 times smaller than that of size of the atom. And other conclusion is that all positive charge of the atom is concentrated only at the central portion called nucleus, and thus mass and charge of the nucleus is being confirmed from alpha ray scattering experiment. These are the postulates or observations or conclusions, whatever we say, from Rutherford's atomic model. So students, we already have discussed that when alpha particles are coming towards the gold foil, some of them get scattered and some of them get reflected back. Now imagine that there is an alpha particle or beta particle. Beta is also a negative charged particle, but as we are dealing with alpha scattering experiment, we name it as alpha. This is alpha particle. This is alpha particle. Alpha particle is projected towards this target. Target is gold foil. And as see, when this alpha particle, which is positively charged, and gold foil, it too contain, this is nucleus, which is containing positive charge. Positive repel each other, right? So when two atoms come closer, like for example, let me explain it clearly. This is positively charged, and there is another positively charged alpha particle coming closer. Now when it is coming closer, the interaction, the separation between these two is R. R is decreasing. As R decreases, F increases according to electrostatic force, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square. As R decrease, F increase. So this alpha particle is coming closer to the nucleus, and because of positive repulsion, it come closer, and at some particular angle it get deviated, right? This is the smallest length between alpha particle and the nucleus. The smallest distance for alpha particle and the nucleus is said to be impact parameter. This is called line of impact. Impact parameter or line of impact. Now the displacement, this is what's said to be impact parameter. Impact parameter. And the angle made by deflection of this alpha particle is being deflected. The angle made by the deflection of this alpha particle with the horizontal, it is said to be scattering angle. This is called scattering angle, right? So from this we have learned two definitions, what is meant by scattering angle and what is meant by impact parameter. We have learned from this. Impact parameter depends upon the scattering angle and also the interaction between two charged particles. Not only for alpha and nucleus, it can be between two alpha particles, it can be between two electrons, It can be between one alpha particle and a beta particle. So you can calculate impact parameter and scattering angle for any two charged particles. Either they can be positive negative or positive positive. Usually we will be taking like charges because positive positive repulsion force will be dominated when the particle come closer to another positively charged particle. This is equation for impact parameter. Impact parameter B is equal to Z1 Z2 E square divided by 8 pi epsilon naught K into cot theta by 2, where K is kinetic energy, it is half mv square. So impact parameter is denoted with B. So here you can see this is B. Here is an alpha particle or an electron or any other atom which is coming closer to this another. And as it approaches towards this same charged particle, at one point the force between these two become maximum, and then it starts to deviate. So that position is this. It starts to deviate, and when it is being deviated, the angle made here is theta, called scattering angle, right? And that scattering angle is mentioned here. So impact parameter B is proportional to cot of theta by 2, where theta is called scattering angle. It's directly proportional to scattering angle. This is conclusion obtained from Rutherford scattering experiment.